Welcome to SMB Renegades with your host, Jason Thomas, where we take a deep dive into the stories behind the entrepreneurs of today's businesses. Each episode brings you the inside scoop on challenges, failures, and successes from the small business world. Join us as we explore the often unheard stories of the individuals who are reshaping the world of business, one enterprise at a time. Tune in now for the latest episode of SMB Renegades.
All right, Renegades, welcome back to the show. I am JT. I am your host here at the SMB Renegades podcast, a show where we take a minute to just find out who the entrepreneur is behind the businesses that we love. And today we are very fortunate. We have a personal friend of mine, Mr. Bobby Huggins. Bobby, do us a favor. Let everybody know who you are, what you do, and go ahead with that.
Yeah, I appreciate you having me on, JT.
Oh, my pleasure.
Yeah, my name's Bobby Huggins. I am the CEO and founder of National Protection Firm based out of Tampa, Florida, but we operate nationally and we are a premier security agency.
Love it. All right. Today is not about talking about the National Protection Firm. Amazing company that you've put together. I've loved being able to watch it grow as you've been doing it. Today, though, like I just said, this is about getting to know the man behind the business, who you are, what makes you tick, and how you got to where you are today. Let's start this off. Let's go all the way back. Give me an idea, kind of the snapshot. What was it like as a kid growing up for Mr. Bobby Huggins?
Oh, well, it started born and raised in a little town outside of Orlando, Florida. Very good upbringing. My mom, hardworking woman, educated, has her doctorate in education, started out as a first grade teacher, ended up as a high school principal, actually was a mayor at one point in Umatilla, Florida, which is kind of funny to me.
That's
something. My dad, high school educated, worked 45 years in the same company, Sprint.
Wow.
Yeah, very hardworking. He did his a different way, more of the started at the bottom and just worked his way up through the years. Very admirable.
Got to appreciate that.
Yeah, both were great parents. I have zero complaints. I have a very, I love a loving sister as well. Can't forget my sister, but my mom and dad were great parents. They raised me. They gave me my foundation. So zero complaints on the family side.
Understandable then, as to, good parents, good upbringing produces a pretty solid guy that's going to do some things. What were those things that you were doing as a kid, though? Like, it's great to have a great mom and a great pop, but what was it like? What did you have fun doing? Were you the inside kid? Were you the outside kid? What were you doing as a little one?
Well, I played sports, right? So I played baseball since I was 6 years old, maybe even 5.
All right.
Started football, Pop Warner football in 6th grade, and
Love it.
Finished out football and baseball throughout my high school time.
Okay.
Yeah. So
any ideas of going pro?
So I loved football. Football was my big thing, and I loved every minute of it. Yeah, but on the off time, so when I wasn't playing sports, I was doing 4-wheeling, dirt bikes, always in the woods. My dad had a couple acres out in the Ocala National Forest, and I would spend my time out there doing, fun stuff on the ATVs and dirt bikes.
Hey, I love that idea. We could all use to get out into nature a little bit more and get reconnected with really where it all is. That's where all life starts, and it's something that we've kind of neglected as a society these days. So move that one down. Let's move the timeline down a little bit. Talking about high school, going into college, figuring out who you are as a man. How did you come to the realization that the security world was where you were going to make your home?
Well, I started out 18 years old, right out of high school. I joined the Marine Corps. So, hoorah.
Makes sense. I can see where that would be. Yeah.
Started the Marine Corps, did 5 years as a Marine. I got out briefly. I was 22 years old and I, started thinking about, the home life and college and things along that nature. Figured out quickly, 3 months out, I figured out that the military was where I needed to be. So I
Okay.
quickly rejoined, but I joined the Army as an airborne infantryman. Did 8 years with the Army. I ended up hurting my hip, tore my hip. So I ended up getting out medically,
Oh, sorry to
100%
hear.
disabled veteran. But I loved every second of the military. I would have done 20 in a heartbeat if it was anything else other than the hip. The hip is scary.
Yeah, definitely. You might need that for the
Yeah,
rest of your life. So
exactly.
taking care of that part of your body, probably, not even probably, that's definitely a good idea.
Exactly.
Um, well, 13 years of service, Bobby. I know I've thanked you before, but I want to thank you again. Anybody that has done that much for our country deserves the accolades that come along with that. So again and again, thank you for your service.
I appreciate
Um,
it. Thank you.
very welcome. My pleasure indeed. So military to the security world, that makes sense. I mean, just thinking about it logically, what did that really look like in practice? How did that, like, I can't imagine you started at the top of a major security company.
No, no. Transition was hard for me. Speaking personally, I didn't really have a plan. So when I got out, bills were due and I needed to make money quick. So I hopped on Indeed and I got the first armed guard gig I could find, right? And
Okay.
that's how my career started. As I got the first gig I could find, got my armed licensing in Florida, and you know, just got out there and started working shifts.
Okay, so started at the bottom,
Yeah.
the old success story. Started from the bottom. Now we're here. Jefferson's reincarnated in Bobby Huggins here today. I
Yeah.
like it. That's very cool, though. So was there a moment in there though that, like, you just kind of sat back, maybe just it hits you in the face one day that, yeah, I'm home, this is what I'm meant to do, and that's where NPF came from? Or like what?
It's hard to pinpoint an exact moment, but I'm a protector at heart, so I'll always have that protector in me. But I say when I really started to bloom was when I got in my first operational role in the security industry.
Okay.
That made me excited to be handling the background, the logistical piece, kind of running an entire um, operation, so to say, multiple operations. That's exciting to me. And I saw growth potential there, and I saw a ladder to climb, and that was important to me.
Sounds like that moment in many entrepreneurs' life where you got bit by the idea that you knew that you could do this and you could do this well, and you could get people to pay you for it. And as I've experienced with all the companies that I've helped, really, is that's generally what it's all about. Is you knew that you were good at something, and other people would put enough value in that skill set that you could charge them for it. And now you have an amazingly successful business for it. So congratulations on that. I know you've been doing some big things with National Protection Firm. Um, Aside from the big things and the successes, though, and at least my experience, failure is actually one of the biggest teachers that we have in life. Tell me something there. Tell me that loss that you got kicked in the rear
Oh man.
with, and you just had to learn that, yeah, that's the lesson I learned there.
Yeah, I mean, oh man, I've had so many failures. I think that's why I'm so successful, though, is I failed so big, so early. But I would say the failures that I've learned from the most. There was a period of my life, and it was during that transitional phase in the military. I was
Mhm.
going through a divorce, bankruptcy, separation of the military all at once,
Oh
and
wow.
it was a very depressing time for me. I was in a deep depression, But during that time, I started listening to motivational videos, and I started a guy named Les
Okay.
Brown and multiple others, and that bug bit
Yeah.
me. And man, once I started to listen, and once it started to, and I was in a place to accept it. I tell people all the time, you got to be in a place to accept it. And at that point in my life, I was drinking it up. So so those failures led to me listening and actually really listening to those videos and taking pieces from those videos and actually putting it in practice in life. And I would say, though, if it wasn't for that portion of my life that I failed so hardcore, that I would not be the success story I am today.
You know what? That's gosh, you sound like an entrepreneur to the core, Bobby. It's really, the more we're talking here, the more I'm starting to understand why National Protection Firm is doing exactly what it's doing, because you're taking the lessons and you're actually doing the part that a lot of people don't do. So many people I talk to, they attend the conferences, they read the books, they watch the videos, but they fail on the action side of that. Why do you think that is?
Good question. It's just follow. I think it's follow through. I mean, it's continuing to just get up every day and taking the small steps. And most people want the quick success, right? They want to see, they want to go to the gym the first day and see a six pack.
Right.
A lot of people, if they don't, they get discouraged and they stop. Well, it's a continuing battle. It's every day. Every day you got to show up. Every day you got to show up. And it might take. I don't even like these things that say do this for 3 months, right? And then you'll see this.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it takes years. I mean, so it just continually showing up and taking the small steps and not thinking you're going to see something immediately. It might take years. I think my growth, mine took around 7 years to actually be where I'm at, where it actually in the private sector, around 7 years to be
Mm-hmm.
at the point where I'm at now. And it was all hard work. So there's no shortcut to success. And you know that, Jason.
Amen to that. There
Yeah.
is absolutely no shortcut to success. You are 100% right that everybody's looking for that big, shiny, easy button, not realizing that the easy stuff is really just doing the day to day tasks and doing them at a high level. If you can
Exactly.
have the attention to detail to make that all come together, it's like in Lean and Six Sigma, or it's all about the idea of Kaizen. Just getting 1% better every day adds up really, really quickly. So, talking of interesting segue here, I guess, but talking about the delayed gratification and the instant gratification side of things, what what's the one thing that you would tell the 20-year-old version of Bobby Huggins to kind of give him the leg up with everything that you know now?
Oh man, that's a tough one because someone asked me the other day, "Do you have any regrets?" And I start thinking back, and the biggest regrets that I have were pivotal into me being the Bobby Huggins I am today. Does that make
Unpack
sense?
that a little. I think I
It's
hear where you're going, but
it's
like unpack that a little for me.
it's like if I wouldn't, obviously, if I could go back, a big regret would be the bankruptcy, right? A big regret would be the divorce, the big things. But if I didn't have those, I just would be. I learned so much from those experiences, and I feel like it's like the movies with the time machine. If they change one small thing, it destroys the future, right? And I feel
Right.
like in my life, if I go back and I tell my younger self to change anything, it could possibly put me in a spot where I'm successful, but I'm not in a spot where I'm owning my own company and I'm where I'm at now. So honestly, it's so hard for me to answer that because my biggest thing is I would just tell my younger self to stay positive, keep your head up, and keep grinding, right? Keep going and keep working hard. But I wouldn't get into details of like, don't do this, don't do this, don't do that. is because everything that I did wrong, I feel like those are the reasons that I'm successful today.
I could totally agree with you on that. The decisions that we make throughout our life are what shape us to who we are, and I wouldn't change anything in that. I've made my share of mistakes just like any other guy out there, so I relate everything that you're saying right there.
Yeah,
Totally, totally
one
on the same
example,
page.
I wish I didn't get hurt, right? In the military. I wish I could have finished my 20 years. If I
Right?
would have finished my 20 years, who knows how that would have changed my career path. I wouldn't be the owner of NPF. I wouldn't have
Yeah.
had 7 years experience a young adult in the private sector. So you really can't go back and change anything. You have to make the best of where you're at and learn from each failure.
Love it. I love it. So, Bobby, you're an incredibly positive guy. You're doing big things. What drives you? What keeps you getting up every day? The top of the totem pole comes with its headaches, it comes with its frustrations, it comes with its embarrassments, even at times. What makes you want to wake up every morning and keep taking on that battle?
Uh, honestly, I do not feel like I work. I really don't. I love, and I'm not even just saying this. This isn't like a sales pitch. That's why I'm so lucky to be doing what I'm doing. I love what I do. It's my passion. I'm lucky enough to be. I'm helping these young veterans transition. I'm working with. I'm able to be a leader, which I love. It's a passion to be a leader. I'm not crazy. The funny thing is, I'm not crazy about the business side of the house, but I love, um, yeah, I just love what I do. I love the growth. I love learning. I love the potential. Um, yeah, I don't feel like I work a day. I really don't. I feel I love every minute of it. I see my end state goal is to be. I want to be a legend in the security industry, right?
Mm-hmm.
And with that, who know that could take 15, 20 years. But what it does is you have to be operating at a pretty high level for 15 to 20 years if you want to be legend status, right? So
Amen to that.
that keeps me on pace, right? It keeps me consistent, and I know I have a long way to go. Uh, yeah,
So
but
it's about building the legacy.
yeah, about building the legacy. It's all about legacy to me at this point. I've never been a money guy. The money to me, it comes with you building the legacy. The money comes, it follows you, right? I mean, if you build
Mm-hmm.
a legacy and the security industry, the money will be there. So I don't get caught up on the money.
Yeah.
Obviously the money's great, I love the money aspect, but it's not what drives me. I'm more of a product guy. So I like providing the best security teams that clients have seen. um, yeah, it's not the money that motivates me, so to say.
I like that. The legacy, I mean, that means something. It really does. I remember very early age, my dad actually taught me that, if you focus more on the outcome for your customer, you're never really going to have to worry about your bank account because you're doing what's right and the world will take care of you for that. And I call it what you want, call it, the law of reciprocity, call it karma, call it the good word. I think it all comes back to that. And it's just do right by others and you're going to do well yourself. So, understanding that it's about legacy for you, Bobby, what's next? Where are you taking things? Where do you see yourself 5 years from now?
Oh man, good question. I see me continuing to grow NPF, continuing to grow my reputation in the security industry.
Of course.
um, yeah, I just see myself continually taking it to the next level, whatever that level is. I mean, I'm already, the problem is, Jason, I'm already at a level where I never pictured myself being, right? I've never, I remember when I was younger, uh, my goal was to make a 65K salary when I was an adult. Like that was my goal because my dad made a 65K salary and I wanted to be like my dad.
A respectable
So
thing.
Yeah, no, and I was like, so that was my goal as growing up. I thought that's where my achievement was going to be. And it's not really like I said, it's not the money that I'm chasing. It's more of the legacy. But with legacy in the security industry, you have to really get out there and you have to do stuff to make your legacy, right? You have to run
Fair.
the big you have to run the big contracts. You have to do the things that are very hard to do, and the word has to spread. So
Hmm.
yeah, just being out there, being visible, and yeah, keeping my name clean, my reputation clean, and staying consistent. That's my goal for the next 5 years, is to continually give effort to grow by any means necessary and keep my name and reputation clean by being consistent.
I like it. I like it.
Yeah.
So, Bobby, I have to thank you spending the time with me today. Been very appreciated. Of course, in this, people are going to naturally want to know how that they can get a hold of you, knowing that you're kind of booked up as far as work goes, but still let everybody know how they can reach out to you and connect with you and the National Protection Firm.
Yeah, you can reach me on email. My email is bhuggins, Huggins, at nationalprotectionfirm.com. Or you can go to our website, www.nationalprotectionfirm.com, and you'll see my profile with my LinkedIn on the bottom as well. So you can reach out with me on LinkedIn. I'm big on LinkedIn. I love LinkedIn. So you can reach out with me there, my email, whatever works for you.
Excellent. Thank you for that. I'm sure, well, I hope at least that some people will reach out to you, and maybe if nothing else, you can collaborate with them and grow some business. Anything that you would like to leave our guests with as a parting words tonight?
No, I would like to say that I would like people to take my story of me being a high school educated person with, I mean, every big failure you can have in your life. I think I knocked it out in my in my early 30s, but I'm still
Good time.
here. Yeah, I'm still here, and I made it where I'm at, and you can do the same thing. There's hard work, consistency, and dedication pay off in the end.
Amen to that, and strong words to leave everybody with for our now finished second episode of the SMB Renegades podcast. Bobby, again, thank you so much for joining us. Everybody else, I'll see you on the next show. Thanks for joining us.
That's a wrap for this episode of SMB Renegades. Hosted by Jason Thomas of Big Sky Consulting in Orlando, Florida. We hope you've enjoyed hearing our guest stories and insights. We hope you've taken away some valuable lessons. Tune in next week for another episode featuring more stories from the entrepreneurs and business leaders who are shaping the world of today. Be sure to visit our website at www.smbrenegades.com for more information about our guests and to join our community of entrepreneurs. Thank you for listening, and join us again next week for more stories and insights from the people who are rewriting the rules of business.